As people continue scrambling for COVID tests, local hospitals say they're overwhelmed.
As the trash piles up in San Diego, when can we see the sanitation workers strike in?
A second woman lost on the same ranch near Idlewild under suspicious circumstances. We'll investigate, coming up on News 8.
Plus, when it comes to the new food recycling law, a look at what you should separate before you take out the trash. And the new TikTok videos that are causing controversy for showing how to manipulate the results of a COVID-19 home test. News 8 starts right now.
A recent surge in COVID cases across our county has led to long lines at testing sites, and now the Scripps Health CEO says hospitals are also getting overwhelmed. Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Steve Price, in for Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. News 8's Shannon Handy has more on what hospitals are dealing with and what President Biden had to say today as he met with his COVID-19 response team.
As people scramble to find COVID tests, local hospitals like Scripps are dealing with not only a surge in patients, but also a shortage of workers. The president says he has plans underway to address all those issues.
I would describe it as extremely serious. On Christmas Eve, we had 80 COVID patients in our hospitals. Today, we have 210.
Scripps Health CEO Chris Van Gorder says while those numbers aren't as high as they were this time last year, the difference is now his staff is getting sick as well.
Because Omicron is so infectious, about 15% of our workforce is out with COVID as well.
As a result, surgeries have been canceled and patients are often waiting hours for a bed.
This morning, we had 5 medical surgical beds available in the entire healthcare system. But just at Chula Vista alone, I had 19 patients waiting for a bed.
Meanwhile, outside the hospital, people are scrambling to get tested for COVID.
We got here over an hour and a half before it opened, and there's, I would estimate, already 1,000 people in line.
Aaron Knapp was among those who waited hours Tuesday at this county-run COVID testing site in San Marcos. He brought his 3-year-old son who has a cough and says while the long wait is frustrating, being this close to people in line is unnerving.
Zero social distancing.
Long testing lines are becoming more and more common. So are these signs posted at pharmacies throughout the county alerting customers they're out of at-home COVID tests. I visited 3 different stores today.
Now let's try CVS across the street.
All with the same results.
Sold out.
Something President Biden addressed Tuesday before meeting with his COVID-19 response team.
I know this remains frustrating. Believe me, it's frustrating to me. But we're making improvements.
Biden said hundreds of military doctors and nurses have been deployed to staff hospitals and that FEMA is on standby to provide more beds when needed. As for at-home COVID tests, he said stores are restocking. And starting next week, insurance companies will be required to reimburse its customers for those tests.
So if you're insured, you can buy the test and get paid for it.
And locally, districts that have not yet received COVID tests for its students will start getting those tests tomorrow. Governor Newsom made that announcement today. Also, the president spoke about the website his team is building, which will allow Americans to request COVID tests sent to their home for free. While he did not give a specific date, that website, he says, will be ready later this month.
Shannon, thank you. San Diego's COVID cases continue to climb. Tonight, county health officials reported nearly 7,800 new cases from yesterday, the second highest daily total that we've seen since the pandemic first started. Yesterday was actually the highest reported so far, with more than 8,300 cases. State data shows COVID hospitalizations are now above 700. 122 of those patients are in the ICU. 11 new deaths brings our total to 4,487.
Emotions ran high at a COVID test giveaway in the South Bay today. Free testing kits were passed out at the National City Public Library, but not everyone was able to leave with one.
News 8's Heather Hope has more on just how quickly all of those tests were given away.
Yes, before the event even began at 7:30 in the morning, there was already a long line wrapped around the National City Library. And there were 2 lines, one for walk-ups and one for a drive-through. Both ran out of tests fast.
For a person to be waiting here at 5:30 in the morning to get 2 tests, per box, and the need is great, especially in communities like National City.
Car after car showed up early to receive a free COVID-19 test kit outside the National City Public Library.
That's exactly. So I'll just do that.
In less than 1 hour of the giveaway, tests in the walk-up line were already gone, bringing one woman to tears who says her daughter is in desperate need of a COVID test.
My daughter.
Telling people, I'm sorry.
I know I just got a hold for her. She's okay and she's gonna be tested before get out to the house.
We're gonna hook her up. Look, no llore.
It wasn't long before the National City Mayor gave the woman a COVID test.
Don't cry. We got you.
Thank you.
Mayor Alejandra Sotelo Solis says the emotional response underscores the dire need to increase testing availability.
We got to be able to provide resources for those families. And there's more than just that example.
Hundreds of people showed up to pick up a test that National City received from San Diego County Public Health and its local libraries. All 1,000 self-test kits were gone in under 2 hours. The event, which was scheduled from 7:30 a.m. until noon, ended at 9:30 a.m. as volunteers from the Alpha Phi Omega Alumni Association began turning cars away that kept on coming. School students and staff in the South Bay will have 2 free testing and vaccination events on Wednesday and Thursday.
To provide these tests, which are very much needed in the middle of the surge that we're currently in the middle of.
Mayor Sotelo Solis says the tests are a lifeline for families of frontline workers.
If and when we get these, we will continue to provide them 100%.
2 more free test events in National City, one early tomorrow at El Toyon Elementary School at 6:30 a.m. until noon, and then on Thursday at Lincoln Acres Elementary School. That begins at noon and goes until 6 p.m. Heather Hope, News 8.
There's been an arrest in the death of a man at the Old Town Trolley Station. Investigators say 26-year-old Ryan Ruxtelis shoved 68-year-old Martin Andara into an oncoming train on Saturday. Andara hit the side of the passing train and he died at the scene. Ruxtelis was arrested today in the Balboa Park area. Anyone who has any information about this case is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 888-580-8477.
Former Chabad of Poway Rabbi Yisrael Goldstein was sentenced today to 14 months in prison.
He was convicted for engaging in a series of fraudulent schemes, including a tax fraud in which so-called charitable donations made to the synagogue were then funneled back to donors, with him getting a cut. Goldstein had received a lot of local and national media attention in the aftermath of the 2019 Poway synagogue shooting, where he was shot along with 3 others, including Lori Gilbert Kay. She died from her wounds. Goldstein was also ordered to pay nearly $3 million in restitution to victims.
A Board of Inquiry hearing will continue tomorrow for Lieutenant Colonel Michael Regner, the Marine Corps officer in command when an amphibious assault vehicle sank off our coast. 8 Marines and a sailor died in the accident off San Clemente Island in July of 2020. During today's hearing, the government said Regner's leadership set the conditions for the accident to happen. An investigation found a number of failures that led to the accident, including vehicle maintenance issues. Regner was later removed from his post as commanding officer of the landing team.
San Diego has been home to a stinky situation lately with lots of overflow garbage. You might be one of those who are impacted.
Tonight, we continue to follow the labor dispute between sanitation workers and their employer, a company called Republic Services. News 8's Tim Blodgett has the latest on the strike.
As the trash piles up, the sanitation workers' strike continues, but is there light at the end of the tunnel? You may have noticed it in your neighborhood, overflowing cans and dumpsters after weeks of no trash pickup around San Diego. These are viewer pictures around the city of what it looks like when the garbage piles up.
What do we want? What do we want?
Led by Teamsters Local 542, more than 250 sanitation workers from Republic Services have been on strike for 18 days. Their demands: better wages, safer working conditions, and new and improved trash trucks. On the picket lines today outside of a Republic facility, sanitation worker Ladair Hampton expressed his frustration with the company and the lack of respect he feels he and his coworkers are getting.
Some of us work 6 days a week in order to make the kind of money that we want to make. It's a very dangerous job. I've inhaled some type of mold fungus where I had to be in the hospital for 8 days.
While negotiations between the Teamsters and Republic Services were on hold for the holiday season, the two parties were back at the negotiation table today. The union representative I spoke with today says that talks can be intense and can go on for days. The rep says they have already scheduled a time to sit down with Republic and federal union negotiators tomorrow. In a statement, Republic Services say they are operating on regular trash collection schedule this week in Chula Vista. We continue to make progress with servicing our customers. All accumulated trash will be collected. In the meantime, garbage will resume to pile up around the city, while Hampton and other Republic employees strike for a better deal.
I just hope that Republic come up with a solution so that we can go back to work and do what we do best and serve the community.
Tim Blodgett, News 8.
Hope they get that trash resolved.
Definitely frustrating for folks.
resolved.
I mean, think about the holidays. You have a lot of people over, a lot of extra trash this time of year.
Yeah, definitely not the ideal situation. A lot of people hauling their own trash
Yes.
to the landfill, but hope they get that resolved
We need to get
soon.
both sides together and get this figured out.